Hello, welcome to Callebaut Yoga, the one-stop shop for yoga and equestrian lifestyle, practicals, classes, online sessions, one-on-one coaching. We are here for you. Give us a subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram as well as Pinterest. And if you really feel like it, hop onto our website, also linked in the description, and sign up for the weekly newsletter. In this newsletter, you will receive yoga tips, equestrian tips and hacks, and a little bit of an intention for every week, just some food for thought. Callebaut Yoga is here to serve equestrians through live online yoga classes spaced throughout the week at different times to combat the busy schedules of equestrians. We also offer live one-on-one coaching with the option to progress to pre-recorded flows specifically for you. What these pre-recorded flows mean is that instead of showing up for your hour-long appointment, we designate X amount of flows per week, and I drop them into your inbox that morning on the specific day you choose. And this means that you will have your own library of yoga flows as well as your own timeline of when you want or can do the flow. This gives you more flexibility. This is a step up program. You can't go right into the pre-recorded program because I want to make sure I understand your wants, your body, and how you want to achieve your goals with Callebaut Yoga. So once we do a couple live sessions, we can then transition into the pre-recorded. So that is a step, that is an option, and I absolutely love having people that go from I need a guide every step of the way to I just want tools in my toolbox. That's what Callebaut Yoga is all about, giving equestrians more tools to show up with intention, with gratitude to their personal lives as well as their equestrian lives. Now, if you're asking who Callebaut Yoga's perfect client would be, anyone with horses. I have myself shown in the very competitive hunter jumper circuit going from Thermal, California to up in Canada at Thunderbird. I have owned, leased, been in riding schools, everything you could think of. I've been to multiple barns, shifted barns, and now at the end of it all, I actually have my horse who is now retired at home. And we focus on his health, his well-being, and quality of life. He has chronic arthritis, so a lot of it is management of pain. I actually had to retire Bo, my horse, when I was 16, a junior in high school. So that was a very interesting time period in my life because I had huge equestrian goals. I wanted to make it to the Maclay finals and show in the 3'6" equitation ring. And that was, that rug was pulled out from underneath me. So I quickly shifted gears and it became not about the riding, the medals, the goals, and it became all about his health and his well-being. And then a couple years later, I was in the second semester of my freshman year of college. I had taken up yoga, and I ended up having a random private yoga class because no one else showed up. And I remember the instructor was like, "Do you still want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was a sub 2. It wasn't even like the regular instructor. It was so random. And I left that class and I just knew, I was like, I'm going to become a yoga teacher. I felt so passionate about what this class did for me. And I had been practicing yoga on and off for the last 4 years previous to this point in time. I kid you not, between that day and maybe 2 weeks, I had already signed myself up, deposit and everything, into my 200-hour yoga teacher accreditation program. And I was certified in the next 5 months from that day. I think it was March or April when I realized, and I had my certification, and it lasted between June and August. And I had 200 hours, 3 to 4 days a week of multiple hour-long sessions. And by the end of the summer, I had this huge epiphany of the connection between the horse world and yoga. And I remember my body would be so tired because you do so much yoga and it's wonderful, but like your body's so tired by the end of your program and your 200 hours, especially when you do it condensed like I did in a 3-month span of time. There were days that I just didn't even have it in me to take Bo for a long walk or get on him and ride him for a little bit, because I can still ride him even though he's retired. It's just very different. And so a lot of days I found myself just sitting out watching him graze, or sitting with him, or just spending time in his presence and in his energy. And energy is not talked about enough. And it's something that is so important in a yoga sense, because when you're learning to become a yoga teacher, it's all about guiding students and knowing the safety things of every pose. But more often than not, it's about the energy you bring. And so I really started to tap into energies and how my horse felt and how I was connecting with him and myself. And I just felt so much relief in, like, I can take it slow. I don't have to push myself to show up for him every day, to be productive, because that's what the training world often holds as a narrative. You have to be productive. You have to train your horse 5 to 6 days out of the week. You can't have any fun hacks. You have to be working on a goal when you ride. And there was so much rigidity to what I had known, and then to come home and be so flexible, it took me a really long time to be okay with that. And yoga really taught you, and yoga really taught me how to be in tune with myself enough to give myself easier days, or give myself days off. And that's not to say you can just neglect the horse care that you have to do. But there are days that the bare minimum is okay. And the bare minimum is food, water, and a comfortable place to stay. That's really, at the end of the day, all your horse needs, and your energy is enough. And they'll respect you for taking days off. And so after just seeing all of these connections between the more I worked on myself and the more the yoga soaked into me and I was able to live as a yoga practitioner, I realized I needed to share this with other equestrians, because if they are in a training world and they are having those strict goals, yoga can come in and supplement the workflow with flow. That's not the work and work and work, grind and hustle that's so common, but you can flow and still meet your goals. So I realized there was this huge connection between yoga philosophy and horsemanship that wasn't being talked about, that I could find. And then I also realized the cross training that can be done for the rider, and how yoga is so unique in the way that there are all of these modifications and progressions and styles and variations within the yoga practice and what a yoga practice means to you, that you don't have to hustle every time you step on your mat. If all you do one day is sit in child's pose for 5-10 minutes, that's a goal. That's wonderful. But maybe the next day you're feeling better and you hit a flow and you're doing sun A's and sun B's and you're moving into nice warrior stances. That too can be yoga. And so I loved being able to look at my horse life and then alter my yoga practice accordingly. And if it was a day that I was like, okay, I have more in me, I have less barn chores today, I can push a little bit more in my yoga practice so that it becomes more of a workout that's commonly associated with yoga studios and what the Western world thinks of yoga. But then when my mental health or my physical well-being needed more support, yoga could be brought to that. And so I love that it wasn't an all or nothing practice, which a lot of times can be going for a run, going to a HIIT workout class, or going to the gym. It's hard to stay in tune with your body and still show up for these, I'm going to say workout, but I want to shift yoga from being a workout, even though it is cross training. There's so much versatility in what you do in yoga, and it's all because you're listening to your body. You're not following a script word for word. If your hand isn't there, it's not okay. Well, everyone's body is different. Every day is different for everybody. And I mean that both like every individual and every body is different every single day. So I really liked stepping into this yoga world while bringing it into my equestrian life and having horses and having a dog and being a young adult trying to figure out life. Yoga was such a grounding principle for me. So that is why I offer live yoga classes as well as one-on-one coaching so that I can get everyone the results that they're looking for. If you're looking for the cross-training yoga, that's where you sign up for a live class. If you're looking for more one-on-one support because maybe you have an injury or a limiting belief, that's where we focus on the one-on-one sessions. And then on top of that, Callebaut Yoga offers workshops and programs to dive into yoga philosophy and connecting that to your personal life first and then moving that into your equestrian life. These workshops happen live in person as well as online. And the more people I have asking for specific things, the more likely those courses will become available. I am really looking to give my knowledge of yoga, which is in no way complete. You are forever a student of yoga. But I'm looking for my students or my clients to guide how I am as a teacher and what I teach. So if people really want the yoga practices, we'll do more of that. If people really want the yoga philosophy, we'll do more of that. So today and this video is really just to share what Callebaut Yoga is all about and why it was founded and what purpose and role it can serve in your life is strictly to be a tool. It's adding tools to your toolbox to pull out on any given day, whether that's a strengthening, a release, an emotional release. Yoga allows you to have all of that. So your next steps are to check out my other social media, especially my Instagram page, other videos on YouTube, but also my website. There's a bunch of blog posts. You can connect one-on-one with me there, and also that newsletter I mentioned earlier. That will get you the most for free. I don't charge for my newsletter. I put one out every week, and it's me strictly giving you advice, giving you tips, giving you a little nugget of yoga to put in your toolbox. And then when you're ready to take the jump, we can expand upon that. I really hope this video clears some things up. If you're looking for more about my story with Bo and his retirement, check out the story page on my website. I go into a lot of depth there, and it explains a little bit more about the philosophy behind Callebaut Yoga. If you're looking to connect one-on-one with me, you have multiple options. You can send me a DM on Instagram, you can leave a comment below, or you can fill out a contact form on my website, or send me an email at info@callebautyoga.com. I'll link it right here. so that you can have it written, because Callebaut is French, so it is spelled differently than what it sounds. And the little reason or nugget why it is called Callebaut Yoga is that is Beau's show name. And he is my greatest inspiration for this journey that I'm on and this mission and purpose to share yoga with other equestrians. And as we all know, our horse's show name holds a lot of value, and his show name is retired from the show circuit, but I brought it to life here. I hope to meet you soon, and have a great day. Bye.